We own. I feel like Carl.
He was getting off his shots.
Yeah, that was a really decent episode. Ah man, they're lighting that fire under our ass. I'll tell you that.
It's good. It's good.
Number one podcast in San Diego, hands down.
It's good. It's good. Let's hit the record. What's happening, guys? Yeah, that's right. Episode 50, Nothing to Lose Podcast. 5-0 coming at your stereo. Eyes a little low.
Alright, hold on. Let me turn this down a bit. I'm watching myself.
I'm Tony.
I'm Joey.
I'm Dion.
Hey, who's that? It's been
AKA
a while.
Cam.
It's been a while, Cam. Did you know that someone slid in the DM and told us that they wanted you back?
Did you know that 3 people slid in the DM and said, we want more D? Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, that came out wrong, but...
O-N. I am.
No, for real though. Yeah, you have been requested a lot lately because people enjoy the wisdom.
I do fairly. Yeah, I'm a little wise. I'm old. I'm almost close to 5-0.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that.
I get to round up sooner.
Nah, you
Get to round
you don't
up.
want to.
No, you don't want to.
When was the last time that he was actually on the podcast?
In the 20s probably.
In the 20s?
Yeah.
No.
It's been a minute.
It's
Yeah.
been a minute.
It hasn't been 30
I
weeks.
think we were doing,
No.
it was about the raft and different things like that. If you had to pick some items,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But what was it? Nah, that couldn't have been.
It's been a minute,
It's
bro.
been a minute.
It's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a long time.
Long time coming.
Oh my god.
Cam's seen the come up. He's seen the cheap microphone days. He's been in the good microphone days.
Accurate days.
Test.
We own.
That corporate
no.
sponsorship.
We trying.
So haven't really talked to you in a bit. So what's been going on with you? Anything coming up?
Nothing really. I've been grinding on the low for like a show. I really want to do a show this year and soon.
Oh, what kind of
that's
show? For the people that don't know.
Pro physique show.
Oh.
Be my little debut, hopefully. Here soon. Spending backgrounds grinding, chilling.
So this is the first show with you coming off of being a pro, right?
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Why has it taken us so long for you to compete after you got your pro card?
That was on a lot of personal things.
I can just hear you chew and my microphone picking up air. Swallow that.
I'm going back and forth. So I went to the south a couple times, a good bit of times, and it took that took some time away, you know.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't focused as I should be.
Okay.
So now we grinding twice a day.
It wasn't like a burned out either? Or was it?
Not
You
burned
had
out.
personal
Just
stuff, right?
I had more responsibilities to other people. My time, so I couldn't dedicate 4 and 5 hours.
Okay. That's what it takes?
Felt pretty sad. For me, it does.
A day?
Yeah.
Like 7 days a week though?
Yeah.
My
365.
God. 365.
Early in the morning, you know, you gotta prepare.
How early is early for you?
Cam takes naps.
Yeah, I do.
At the gym?
No, he doesn't sleep.
If
He
I
takes
can,
naps.
I like to get in at 4 or 5. But lately I've been in there like 7 in the morning or between 7 and 9. Get all the work out the way, go do some things I need to do, kids or whatnot, and come back and finish up the rest of the work.
That would be like a really nice time to work out for me. I feel like, between 7 and 9 a.m., just if I wanted to pop off in the morning, that's like a pretty good time.
Pop off. So if this podcast pop off, we can do that.
Hopefully. Might be out of a job soon anyway, so.
Self-employed.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up. Our longtime friend and former co-host Alex recently got accepted to CSU San Marcos. So just want to give him a shout out. Congrats.
Congrats.
And I see him in the gym in the morning.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
He's getting Vegas ready.
Vegas ready.
He's getting Vegas ready.
Everybody coming to Vegas but me. All right, that's cool.
I'm just posting about it, talking about it.
Oh yeah.
I hit you with that old shot.
Yeah, I saw that. Circa 2013 or something like that.
Oh, not that old, son. 15. That was 15. That was when I was 4 weeks out all year long. Right? It was a good time.
It's good times when you're 2 weeks out.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
body's hurting, everything's dry,
hurting.
can't really sleep that well, joints are dry, you know.
It doesn't matter. All you're wearing is a tank top anyway, so it's all good.
I guess so, but for me, I just need that. I need fried food. I do. Fried fish, fried chicken, potatoes, like that. People crave different things. Like I know a lot of girls who crave sushi. Some people crave like burritos. I crave like fried food. Hell yeah.
You crave fried food?
Fried food.
I'm from the South, so I had my fair share of fried food. From pork chops to chicken and fish, everything.
It's old.
I haven't eaten fried food in years.
Stop.
Why?
Stop.
Why?
I just
maybe
the quality is different, you know, because everybody cooked it back home, but
it's like a Mexican going to the taco shop and saying no.
it's just too the logistics. I had a fryer a couple of years ago and things like that, but I don't like the aftertaste or even it, and I might fry it hot so it won't soak up the grease. That's just don't.
You can tell it's been a while. The cam's been on because he's like so far away from the mic.
Oh,
I know,
Make love to that mic. Come on.
gotta-
Earlier, right now, before on the ground, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, it's definitely gonna pop off.
Right.
Oh man, I thought he had new equipment. My bad.
Oh.
I just want you to know though, there's something out there called an air fryer that doesn't use any oil. So if you wanted to get your health on, but also you wanted that fish and chips, like me, then you should get one of those for $50.
So you air fry or you deep fry?
Air fry mostly. Well, if I buy, everything's gonna be deep fried. You know, because
Because you drop it and it rises to the top.
Yeah.
That means it's done.
that's how you know.
Yep.
I've been doing it wrong my whole life. See, when
Deep fry. You know, like
whenever
the
I
deep fries.
yeah,
fries. We used to drop. You know, you batter up the fish. You
Hell
put
yeah.
the fish in there. You drop it. Once it floats up, it's time to come out. And then
for me, because I've never had a deep fryer, I see the damn pan fry with like an inch of oil in it, right? I be like flipping it too much.
Yeah.
Is my problem. I'm like not patient to let it sit, so I'll be like flipping it, and then some of the batter comes off, and it's just a bad time.
So it's not because it's not deep enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's not deep, but I don't have D money over here for a damn deep fryer. Those things are like $100, $200.
Yeah, nice chest and a pretty smile. I'm pretty sure you can get one.
I don't. I haven't hit the gym in like weeks.
My ass. You worked out Monday.
But
Exactly.
that was mostly for.
That was weeks ago. That I saw you from.
No, but it wasn't actually. Yeah, it was. But I worked out this last Monday, so a couple days ago with Colin, because he's doing that 5-3-1 program, and that day was his 95. So he was like, "Hey, can you come to the gym with me to spot me?" Right?
5-3-1.
Yeah.
So it takes so much time. Shout out to Colin for doing that.
Shout out.
That's when I was fitted though, doing 5-3-1, 5-1. That's probably why. All the programs.
Mm-hmm.
I got a story for you before we hop on it.
Oh, I love stories.
Alright, so last Friday, head on over to Chase Bank up the street. You're gonna love this, Joey, because former bank life, so you can relate a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a line, I gotta get my quarters, so I gotta wait in line, because obviously the ATM doesn't dispose quarters.
Yeah.
So, what do you do as a banker? They come up to you and ask if they can help you with anything, right?
For sure.
So obviously this guy approaches, I already know what he's gonna ask me. I already know my line because I say the same thing. I'm like, hey, I'm going to deposit my check, I'm going to get quarters, so you can't help me, kind of thing, because he can't.
Mm-hmm.
He turns around and goes, actually, I can. I'm like, you can deposit your check on the ATM? Okay, I know I can do that. And he's like, and if you take a 20, I'll go in the back and grab your quarters.
Okay, yep, kind of makes sense.
Okay, cool. Like, this guy's going to go out of his way, that's great, because he sees the line 10 deep on a Friday. Go to the ATM, do my thing, get my $20 out. Turn around, he's helping a customer, walks him over to his booth, his little cubicle, whatever.
It takes that customer.
Yeah, because he has to help his customer that came in for his appointment. So then I was just staring there, and I'm like, so the old Tony would have just like flipped off and gone in there and interrupted his whole conversation and just handed my 20 and then expected my quarters, right? So I stood just right in front of the ATM, just like puzzled, like, what do I do? Like, the line got bigger now, too. I was only 4 away. So now the line's 10 deep again. I was like, so, what the hell do I do? Ivan is his name. At least I got his name.
Yeah, shout him out.
Ivan at Chase, 30th Street. Or is it Ohio? Oh, he's on both. And then, so I just stare at him, and he's not making eye contact with me, obviously. he's fully engaged with his customer. You know, he's trying his best to get these customers signed up, whatever he's doing, because he's asking for, hey, did you guys get a chance to fill out your paperwork, blah, 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 you know, his salesman speech. So, long story short, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go online, I'm gonna be the bigger person, I'm not even gonna, like, sweat it no more, you know, go online, do my thing, get to the teller goes, his name's Ivan. So she saw the whole thing, you know, like she saw like this guy actually tried to help you, but he backstabbed him. Like he was just actually trying to.
So she knew that
she saw what everything happened because she was dealing on Friday. Don't go to the bank on Friday. I'm learning every week. I see something every week is some nonsense. The lady in front of me that was getting helped by that teller, she was negative, but she still wanted quarters to do her laundry. Right? She's older. She's like, hey, my SSI hits on the 1st. And she's like, great, on the 1st you'll have money, you know. And she's giving her like long speech, sales speech, like just give me quarters, you know. The lady next to her. This is why the line was held up because these two people were just taking forever doing their transactions. Like older people got to do like 25 transactions at once and asking quarters for the
I know about that.
The lady next to her feels so not guilty, but like sad for her. So she's like, hey, I'm gonna get quarters. Gives her quarters. The lady goes ahead and goes, hey, could I deposit these quarters so I'm not in the negative?
Oh my
man. And so the teller's just like, fuck, like no, you need them. You said you just had to go do laundry. Like forget it. Like you'll be negative and we'll fix you up the next day. Yeah. It was just nonsense. So by the time the teller got to me, we were just laughing at that point. It was like, here's your quarters, have a great day. I'm you too. She's like, oh, it's Friday, I'm out.
How long did that take?
Too long, because I put a load in the washer because I already had quarters. Came back home. You see how close I live, up the street.
Yeah.
Took 50 minutes for $20 in quarters. What's that?
My sister gave us a thumbs up. She never watches, so for her to watch is.
She started following too. Like.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, because my mom kept promoting the shit. So
yeah, every week.
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out Joey's mom.
You know, I actually ran into Tony at the gym the other day. Not this Tony, other Tony, realtor Tony.
OG Tony.
Yeah, OG Tony. And yeah, he was saying the same thing. He's like, you know, your mom's always the best, blah 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 blah, talking about my mom and stuff. So everybody loves my mom, just you know, for a little bit of clout.
She enjoys that clout.
She does, and so do I.
She's going on vacation with husband.
I know she is. Good for her though.
So going back to the bank, have you ever had to deal with that?
One more time about your mom, because she's the kind of person that brings the sunshine with her, though.
Yeah, she does.
You need that energy sometimes.
Yeah, me more often than not, so I'm thankful that she's my mom. But yeah, she always makes everybody around her feel as comfortable and as good as possible. So hopefully I can be more like her when I grow up, because...
You have her qualities in you. You've just gone through some shit that has put you down.
I've seen some shit. Mm-hmm. So does she, though. So I don't really know like where my excuse is for, you know, why I'm always crabby.
I think she's at one point in her career now that she's like positive all the time because she's got there. So once you get there, you'll look back and be like, hey.
Going back to your story though, because I used to be a banker and be in situations like that, never have I ever like fell through with a promise I made to a client, especially face to face at the bank. So like if I was to pull some shit like that, no, that's not cool. Number one, because he should have like sat that person down and then said, "Oh, I'm gonna do it right back."
What I thought he was gonna do
for sure. But no, he just stuck around and finished. No. You gotta change banks because change it.
Salesman right now.
Because you know, if he had an appointment, it's more than likely it's gonna be 10 to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So he can just walk over to the teller and say, "Hey, I promised this guy.
Exactly.
Can you change me right quick?"
It's about 30 feet away.
Yeah.
You know. So what I wanted to touch on, and you mentioned that one of our, you know, podcast groups, Grown Folks Business. If you haven't heard the last episode, do so. It's hilarious.
I'm grown.
We're all grown as well, but.
Did you want to say shit?
No, I can't because we're just biting out. You know, damn. But they talked about like the education scandal with like the fraud. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about that because somebody, you know, dropped in our DM and was like, you guys talk a lot about social issues, but you never really talk about how to solve them.
Right, which I agree.
Which I also agree, so maybe we can incorporate that in. So for the listeners, if you haven't known, there's been a ring of, you know, higher tier parents, like really wealthy parents. The lady, Aunt Becky from Full House was caught up in this. people were, quote unquote donating and pretty much, paying institutional people off in the, academia to get their sons and daughters in. And they were also staging like the SATs so that people would come in, change the scores to make their scores higher, and then they would be accepted into these, institutions. Now, like the scandal is fraud, and also taking away opportunities from kids who have earned it in an intellectual sense. Like those underprivileged kids who are geniuses.
And both ways, academic, because a lot of them scammed and make sure they got into school. They bypassed the process because they was getting academic scholarships.
Yeah.
Like joining the rowing team.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, they were donating like $500,000 to like the rowing team, and then staging like.
Oh, they were taking pictures.
Yep. They were taking pictures too with like paddles and shit.
Yeah, flex.
Exactly. Like really selling it so that the row coach, who was being paid off on the side too, could bring this to like the dean of acceptance and be like,
The one main guy, he made $25 million, bro.
$25 million.
$25 million or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
He had to connect with the different athletic departments and people and the resources. I think he had a thing, the scam, kind of like when you practice for the SAT.
Sure.
So he kind of get you ready and give you a college checklist or whatever. But the biggest fraud part about it when it came to the SAT, because you can ask for more time. He found loopholes around it because that's how he made his money. And they actually had some people sit down and take the test for him.
It's like the damn Bernie Madoff of the education crisis here. It's not like college is already impacted enough and expensive enough, but now people who have more money than you and I have the ability to just,
Oh, yeah, that drove up the price.
Yeah, and plus, like, it took away a lot of opportunities. Hopefully.
Everybody hear
Yeah.
But so like the biggest thing for me, and D, you were making some really good points before we started rolling here, but like being able to have that privilege, I'm gonna call it white privilege and like old money privilege, to do that is turning institutionalized education into more of like a fad. So you know how back in the day for your Sweet 16, it's like, I want a better car than you, right? Where it's like, no daddy, I want this car, I want the BMW. Well now it's gotten to, no daddy, I want to go to USC, I want to go to Stanford, I want to go to Berkeley, Georgetown, and stuff like that. So like people aren't even taking education seriously anymore. It's a fad for these rich, spoiled kids to pick and choose where they want to go to make their clout even bigger.
To party.
Exactly.
To have a good time for 4 years.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wouldn't say, I would just say privilege, not just white privilege.
There was,
but I'm saying is,
Becky.
yeah, but I'm saying, but it's still privilege because a lot of people was comparing it to cases where you live in one district and you want your kids to go to a different middle school or high school, but that's public.
That's been going on forever.
I know, but those people they got jail time. Some people got jail time and fines behind, doctoring up your address so you can get your kids into a better school.
So you're going on forever because you
you
have an auntie and you'll use her address.
Yeah, but
boom.
And I can see why that costs people money because those public schools, the government's paying for them.
Yeah.
But some of these colleges are private.
Yeah.
So,
Which is fine, like private versus public. But I say white privilege because the people who are being, these having opportunities taken away from them are, minorities. So like, blacks, Latinos, Asians, Native Americans, people like that who have the SAT scores, they have the means, but they don't have the funds. Those people are more deserving than Aunt Becky's daughter.
Yeah. It goes back to like college is a business. University is a business.
Prison is a business, college is a business.
College is a business.
So it just shows it more in that.
Yeah. Think about it though.
Yeah, I see it both ways too, but I'm not going to say some of those kids didn't work hard because the kids didn't even know what their parents were doing.
Right. No, I'm not going to say that.
No, I don't believe that for a goddamn second.
Not believe, but I'm saying just some of the report. I want to be fair. Some of the kids were talking like, I don't roll. I don't pull up. But, some are obviously were coached up to say, hey, man, you want to go to USC, you're not getting in. This the way you're getting in.
I don't believe
but it's almost even like, you don't think so?
No, these kids.
Not none. You mean every single one.
Okay. I'm not gonna say all encompassing, right?
Because you don't even know the people on the list, and
But the ring was like just for parents alone, it was like over 1,000 parents that they caught up in this education fraud.
And it's more, but that's all it is. So just everyone.
Yeah. So the
I
ones
don't
who had to
get-
pay the most, their kid was a terrible student, though.
Yeah, like that the chick that we keep harping on, $500,000, right? And she was posting on Twitter and shit like that. Like I only go to college to tailgate and party and shit like that. Not only that, but Google. I don't know if you saw, but if you were
She's on
to
vacay or something.
oh no, not only that, but because you said the correct payoff amount, it was $500,000 that she paid to get that school. So Google her name right now, and it says her net worth $500,000. That is all she's worth. That is all she's good for. 500,000. I thought like that was so petty of Google, but so right. Like preach. You just put a label on how much you are worth. You are worth 500,000.
I'll take it.
But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, just to put like a price tag on somebody, and like how much am I gonna pay for you to get in? How much do I think that you're worth right now for you to be accepted to my college?
It goes back to like who you know, like how we talk about it in the business world, in the work world, like how you get that job or that promotion because of who you know.
Reminds me of like
you got in the circle in the loop because he had access to the system, and he knew how to exploit the system, and he showed them how to exploit it, and they were willing to pay X and X amount of dollars to get their kid's name on a certain piece of paper.
For me though, it's like cattle, like you're gonna put this cow up and sell this cow. How much is this cow worth? How much how much milk can it produce? How much meat can it produce? All this stuff. How much are you?
Oh, but they didn't do that though. That was already before them. Those numbers are already set when we put the best college to go to, the most expensive college. If you want you get a degree from this college, it's worth X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
This is your return on investment. So they were going by legit numbers that was already out there. They just make it up,
But people that graduated from here made this much, so this is worth this much.
We're gonna totally bite this off. Can you put on a timer right now? All right. Because this is such a deep and heavy thing. What I want to do is thank you, Colin, for this suggestion, but we have talked about a social issue. Now I want the three of us to propose solutions and give each of us like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes to explain our side. And then after everybody's gone, then, we can go ahead and talk about it. I want to start with D. So right now, just for definition purposes, we're talking about the education fraud crisis. We're talking about people who are using their wealth and influence to get their undeserving kids into higher institutions. And we are talking about, teaching our kids to shortcut and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. So, timer on.
And then you clue me in. Ask me the first part, ask me the second part, because I didn't know all that. So what's the timer on? What's the first part?
Well, the first part, okay, so the problem is the education fraud. How would you solve it?
We already have standards, and once we have a standard, people will find a way to go above that or below that. So since education is based on pay and money, it's hard to make it equal for everybody, access. I don't know, should you treat it like healthcare? Should everybody have opportunity to go to college and go to school? I don't know. Or not, because we might not be able to do that. Because not everybody wants to go to college, not everybody needs to go to college. Or just for the experience, you know what I'm saying? So the problem with it is it's competitive and competition, and people are going to want to win. I'm pretty sure there's a certain school you want to get into, and go away from the moral issue of did they cheat or did they fraud, or did the parents simply say, I can get my kid there and that's something I want to get them for them to go. Maybe they aren't ready for Georgetown, but if I get them into Georgetown, they can see what kind of work it takes. Now they in Georgetown, maybe change. I don't know. But were they fraudulent in getting there? Yes. Next question.
All right. So the education crisis. Well, I guess we'll just go around this. So Tony, how would you solve the education fraud problem we got going on? I'm gonna go ahead and reset this.
Easy. Make the education free. Boom. If it's free, we're not gonna have people buying their way in. Okay. Education should be free regardless. Here, we have our taxes. Our tax money should go to the university. We should not have this for-profit schools. We should not have these private systems. We should be a free, educated country. We're making up, yeah, we're in the trillions, but think about it. They make so much money off of football games, basketball games, and freaking alumni fees. People pay alumni fees just for their school, just to represent that they went there.
But it's still gonna have a capacity. So even if it's free, it's still gonna be a cutoff.
Wait.
Of course it is. It's
my
my time, man. It's gonna have a capacity. Yeah, it is, but that's why we're gonna find the ones that actually deserve to be there. Aunt Becky could pay $500,000 and help the school, but does her daughter really deserve to be at the school? Cool. I want the competition.
Okay.
You're on.
So I'm gonna kind of bite off what you said, right? I don't think that it should be necessarily free, because I think that would, lead a lot of people to abuse the education system, and they would go to school and just, for the next 4 years just kind of do whatever. I feel like the competition needs to be a little bit tighter, like you said, intellectual wise or athletic wise, right? So but it has to be honest. So if you're an athlete and you're just the all-star basketball player of all time, right? Like you are the next MJ, you're the next LeBron, and you want to go to college, but you're not smart, then I feel like it has to be honest, and you have to say, I'm going to Yale on an athletic scholarship regardless of my intellectual values just to play basketball, but I am going to be held to a threshold of I have to work my ass off to maintain at least a 2.0 GPA, right? But also what I would do in this case to solve the problem is I would make these parents pay heavily. I would put them on as an example for that shit not to happen again.
Yeah.
But paying was an issue for them. They were already overpaying. But even
make it a public.
Like we said before, when I was graduating high school, colleges used to take Proposition 48 athletes, people who gonna get athletic scholarship, got it offered, accepted it, but they weren't qualified to go to the school based on their high school qualifications. Maybe they weren't college prep, they didn't have the GPA, or they couldn't pass the SAT.
At least it
so
was
a lot of those
honest,
kids
though.
went to
I mean, and instead of charading I'm
then you
on the road team, or
And as soon as you was talking, I was thinking about Zion and his value, and the value he added to Duke. But Duke also had a brand and it added to his value by the way he played there in the competition. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take, and kids get exploited. And then he was saying, but how do you compensate the athletes when, you're going to give everybody school for free? Well, the athletes got to go to school for free and get paid more of a stipend. If they got a big time football or basketball program, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be fair, what's my usage? Because I don't think education it's a right and it's a privilege. College is a privilege. You can't just say you have the right to go to school and not college and not achieve. And we're going to pay for you not to achieve because we had a few problems.
Which is why I said that there needs to be a threshold that they have to maintain a certain GPA, or else they're out.
And it's still going to have that problem because whenever you say, I honestly want to go to school and I want to get to this school and I've been working hard to get there, some people just don't do some things well. It's not a matter that they try hard enough, they might not have the capacity, and they can go
play on they can go play on the G League, and then they can get drafted in the NBA.
I ain't talking sports, I'm talking
go to a trade
academics.
school.
Some kids can't make a grade that is required for a certain school.
Then you gotta go. Then you gotta go because
the next one. But
John or Sue over here
wants
to. People need to be less forgiving. There needs to be more examples. There needs to be more people who are let go out of school.
So how many schools in that case, because they got paid, how many people said this kid's no more? We pulled the application, but the people who got there, or people there and they said, hey, they're not here. They broke our code of conduct.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many?
Probably thousands, right?
No, I didn't see anybody on the news. I didn't see anybody say, well, this kid, they're not enrolled
school
anymore.
won't release that.
And some of them still enrolled that you see.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's a code of conduct or wherever that school.
So pretty much what you're saying is the institution. So in this case, USC for Aunt Becky's kid, right? Mm-hmm. The institution is saying, that person did that on their own volition. They don't represent USC as a whole. So we're gonna keep this chick in because she paid her tuition.
Right.
But that guy's gonna get fired, go to the jail. Your mom's gonna get fired, go to jail. But you're still gonna be able to go to school here.
But because they used that the premise of getting in athletically, so they bypassed a lot of other things. If they was a straight student, they needed that to boost their package just to get into the school. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta go.
The great thing about
You gotta
this
go.
is gonna keep going on for years
Oh,
until
no,
they
yeah.
actually solve it or come to.
Think about the people who didn't get caught.
Yeah,
Think about the people who didn't get, you know?
But say,
we can go even more.
Yeah.
yeah, if you donate, I don't know if I donate $70 million to a school like Dre, I would hope my kid could get in there. But if they don't qualify, they don't qualify.
Exactly.
It depends on, because another debate was Puff Daddy, he had a son, he got a football scholarship to UCLA, and people were saying he's taking a spot from another kid. I'm like, how? That's his daddy money. That's not his money. He earned this spot. He played a sport. He had the GPA.
P. Diddy's not gonna play
That's
football
what
for
I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I understand why they want their kids to excel,
Of course.
Yeah.
but
Preservation of generations.
yeah, right.
I get it. But like for me, and I've said this since day one, even if I was a billionaire, if I had kids that just weren't shit, they're not gonna get shit.
oh, they wouldn't be billionaires. No.
Nope.
Of course.
Nope.
They don't have the mindset.
Nope. You have to earn it. You have to put in work. You've got to do what I did, and then after I die.
Maybe they don't have to do what I did, but they
Correct.
got to have the right, I think, more compass,
Drive.
judgment, and drive to say yeah. Because there's nothing wrong with something coming to you easy. I
Trust
don't
fund
mean you don't
babies.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Trust fund babies.
It's a sign of our generation, man. We want everything easy. We want everything handed to us.
And right now.
We're
We
not
want
willing
it
to
now.
wait it out.
You think so? I think that's a sign of progress too. Because if I was born today, I would be a whole lot different than when I was born. I would expect more. Because me and my kids are. That's the first thing I do too. Is I come at them from a point of view is they weren't here 30 years ago, or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
What the world was when they recognized it was in the world is what it is.
Yeah.
So if it's dysfunctional and whatever it is now, I gotta not tell them it was better back in the day. I don't know if it's better back in the day, but I can say, hey, these are some traits that carry on that can help you do better today. You don't have to do it this way or do it that way. Because I don't know, we kind of soft sometimes.
Oh, we know what's up.
Yeah.
And then life is a hard condition sometimes, and then we don't give our kids the truthfulness about how to survive and teach them real social skills and stuff like that. So then they do. I guess you do say, "Well, my kid ain't gonna make it. I got to cheat for him." That's a hard sell. I couldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't.
An honest fail is good.
If my kid is
Keeping
gonna
up with
fall
the
on his face or her face, if they're gonna fall on their face because they're lazy, then they're gonna do it, and then they are gonna do the same shit that every other American kid has to do. Go to JC where the acceptance rate is 100%. You work your ass off. You get that GPA up 3.5, 3.67, and then you can apply to university as a transfer, and you can get the same motherfucking degree as if you paid $500,000 for it.
Well, I'm gonna look at it like if my kid was a terrible student, I'm not paying for him to go to college, or even paying legit. Like if you're a bad student and you didn't invest in free education, you ain't a good enough businessman to talk me into going on
Exactly.
and paying for education for
Yeah.
you that you didn't appreciate.
Exactly.
You
Tell
don't
me
just
why
turn it
you
on.
want.
People don't
exactly.
become
Yeah.
a good student and understand those things. Because my youngest, he treats school like a business. He knows what he has to do. Sometimes he enjoys, sometimes he don't, because that's school.
Yeah.
I understand. I don't want to sit in a building from 8 o'clock in the morning to 2 and 3 in the afternoon. I'm a kid, but that's part of the game.
Same deal.
But that's the norm now, right?
Yeah.
But when people probably were born, we probably were homeschooled. But if you say you're homeschooled, now they say that's odd. But that's probably how we did everything.
Plus, they're getting away.
Oh no, this is shit I do, man. I'm March mustache, whatever bullshit. I can't shave for the whole month, so I'm just over here. I always put on my face. Good shit from both of you.
I like how we answered it.
Yeah, we actually we went through it and answered it. What I want to do now is I got a question, and this came up in conversation when I was at dinner with my mom the other night, and it really boggled me. We talked about friendship. So do you have like a transition here? We got like a song. We got some sort
How
of.
many of us
What
have
song do you want?
friends?
What
Ones
song?
we can depend on.
Hold on.
Friends.
I got you.
And then you should also have the next one prompted up for.
No new friends. No new friends.
No.
No new friends.
The hell is that, Tony?
What was that?
All right. Anyway, so I was at dinner the other night with my mom, and we were were sort of talking about friendships. We're talking about friendships. Now that's kind of vague, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell my story, and then you guys tell me your take on it. So we were talking about friendships, what a best friend is, if you can have more than one best friend, and it's all related to talking about if I got married one day and I had groomsmen, and if I had a best man, who is my best man gonna be? That's gotta be your best friend. You can have more than one, and having, so we were sitting there talking about it, and I was explaining, I feel like I can only have, there's one best friend, and then you can have a group that you roll with, but you've gotta have one best friend. And then she said something like, well, what if they're all your best friends? And then I said something like, okay, well, if you were to get married right now, which one of those people will be your maid of honor? And she would say, I don't know, they're all pretty equal in best friendship. And I said, okay, well, which one have you connected with more recently or for a longer time and you feel like have your back right now? Like, who would you call right now if you needed something? And then she dropped a name, and I said, that's your best friend.
Right.
And then, no, they're all my best friend. No, but that one is your best friend because that's the better of all four that you mentioned, right?
I can't wait for Cam's response.
So my question to you gentlemen, is it possible? Okay, well, I guess, is there such thing as a best friend? Is it possible to have more than one best friend, like my BFF? All these girls all day on Instagram, like with my bestie, and it's one chick, and then my bestie, another chick, blah blah blah. But can we have more than one best friend? And then also, does that define your groomsmen, best men, maid of honor, bridesmaids, bullshit like that?
I like how, so for the listeners right now, D just popped over his phone. He's in his notes.
Yeah,
He's in his thoughts.
He's in his fields.
Thoughts and feels with Cam.
Well, yeah. What do you guys feel like? What do you guys?
I guess the longer you live, some friends remain the same. It becomes a little more complex. Because like when you said, the first thing I thought when you said, who are you gonna call when you have a problem, whatever? I didn't, and you said I would be your best friend. I heard, I'm having this type of problem. This is the best friend I'm gonna call because they can help me solve this.
Okay.
It's not necessarily exclusive to that one person.
Right.
I'm gonna call the person who can help me when I'm in that need.
Yep.
Not necessarily my best friend if it can get it done.
Do you have a best friend?
I have. It's degrees, and I would say this too because
there's levels to this.
I might meet some people, or meet someone, and they might take me in as a friend, and they might treat me as a friend. But to me, my definition of friendship, I haven't shared enough with them that I consider them a friend. But I won't tell them that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might meet somebody might share a lot with me, and might consider me their best friend, but that doesn't necessarily mean I consider them one of my best friends.
You're just coming off as a cold dude right now.
Not cold dude. I'm saying,
world.
because when you say best friend, this is what I thought of. Confidant, they have the same moral compass as you, the acceptance of you in certain things, and they have access to your vulnerability and your vulnerable moments, your vulnerable thoughts, and not everybody gets that.
Got that.
And so, and when I say acceptance is, somebody say, oh man, that's my boy, he been doing that bull for 20 years, but I accepted it. So I'm gonna keep accepting it, because I done accepted it for 20 years. And that ain't gonna be the reason I end the friendship, because I already adjusted that and I accepted that about the person. But friends and best friends is who has more access to you, to the core you, the real you.
Do you have somebody like that?
Yes.
Okay, so then let me ask you right now. Let's say that you were to get married next weekend, and your fiance wanted a traditional ass wedding with like groomsmen, maid of honor, best man. Are you able to choose one singular person in this world as your best man?
I am.
Okay.
Based on, and it might be us in the same group, but I'm able to pick that one person because time and opportunity has led us to prove to each other
so
our friendship.
That's your best friend.
You know what I'm saying? But not everybody has one person. Probably a couple years ago, I probably couldn't say one. I would say, oh no, we roll tight. We're like a hand. All the fingers going. You know what I'm saying? But now.
Yeah, but there's only one best man at a wedding.
Yeah, that's fine, but that don't mean it has to be your best. You making like this best friend equals best man.
Hell yes.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, so if you couldn't get there or whoever, but yeah, everybody doesn't have. But I have friends that's. So if I'm going to go run, Tony's in charge or whatever. delegate different parts of my friendship, but as in, I don't know if you can boil it down to. I have one because it's been one for a while. But you always have one best friend, and because it's not even somebody from my childhood, and like that's just somebody in my younger adulthood.
I'm just gonna go a bit deeper. For me, the definition of a best friend includes this person is not your best friend unless you're their best friend too. So like, let's say that I was like, hey, Tony's my best friend, but Tony's saying D's my best friend, then Tony's not my best friend because.
That was my next year, yeah.
So
it's gotta be mutual.
So for the IG girls, it depends who they're on vacation with that week.
When you're in your lowest low, when I think it's something that you need to share or get done that can shame you or most embarrass you, who are you most comfortable telling it to? That's probably your best friend.
Yeah.
Can your best friend be your significant other?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
know. Mm-hmm. You can try and you probably can say it, but it's some things that you probably can't. If you can't share it, that's the reason why you can't share it.
The reason why you can't share it. I can't do it.
If you know we play them games.
Yeah.
But nah, certain things that's probably in that box that person has access to.
Beating around the bush, like you got an answer there.
Mostly for me.
I'm saying I said no. I don't.
Mostly for me, shit that like I would be able to share with my best friend versus like my girl would be a lot of my shortcomings, a lot of my failures, or a lot of bad choices I made.
That's why I agree with you. That's why when I see parents saying, "Oh, my kid's my best friend,"
my
kid can't tell me everything. Bro, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening.
Exactly. Exactly.
What about you?
You can have multiple best friends.
Oh.
And you rely on different people for different things. So your question was like, who do you need when you need help? That's because you know that person's reliable and they're going to be there. They're probably the closest to you at the moment, so you know you're going to run to them. As far as when it comes to picking your groomsmen and your best man, it's got to be somebody that knows your girlfriend or your future wife, your fiance.
Best man.
About that, huh?
That
knows your
best
fiance.
Man should be no.
Who said that? I'm like,
best man is there for you.
Mm-hmm. But could relate to your fiance more too. So he knows both of you.
Thinking about it, traditionally, the wedding is like, two tribes come together, and it's like, these are my tribe's people, these are my tribe's people.
Right.
Like if I'm like the leader of the tribe, my best man is like my second in command. My right hand. Whereas if I'm like married from a different tribe, then her maid of honor is her second in command. Her right hand.
But her right hand knows everything about you, right?
No.
Hell no.
No, because you might not have access.
Well, they don't talk. They don't talk.
Best friend doesn't really mean I spend the most time with you either. Contrary, you don't have to be around each other all the time.
That's
true.
Because if somebody saw me and said, "Who's this? My best friend?" Well, I never seen him before.
You don't need to see.
But you know what I'm saying?
But once you see him, everything's go back.
What it is, yeah. But I don't think they have to know your girl, your wife.
I was in a wedding 2 years ago, or I think it was 2 years ago. Two best men. Is that okay?
Do what you feel, but if you got two dudes that's your boys like that, I guess make a decision.
Draw straws.
Yeah. But I was gonna say when your mom said no, all of my friends, maybe she would say, yeah, flip a coin. That's who's gonna stand closest to me and hand me the ring.
Which is cool because if like you want to be shallow with it and just be like, all right, like heads or tails, blah blah blah. But I just feel like picking a damn yep. You should know, picking a groomsman, picking a maid of honor. You need to like soul search and be like.
So you feel your grading criteria is no, it's the person that you would share the deepest, darkest, most unflattering thing about yourself that you wouldn't share to an agree.
If I killed somebody,
and
they're helping me bury.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep, ride or die. Yep.
6 feet to 12, go deeper.
Exactly.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Have you done that
With
before?
no questions.
I know, right?
That description.
That just came out real smooth.
But I
You should play that soundbite. It's FBI, what up?
But the analogy is the saying,
Mhm.
they don't have to agree with you, but they're gonna be there for you.
Exactly.
And that's what the almost like when me and Dom saying your best friend is like your check person.
Check person.
100.
Check
They
person.
can tell you, hey, bro, you out of line, you out of pocket.
They don't have to agree with
And
you.
not most people can. You know, the one person who can tell you that.
Yeah. They don't have to agree with you,
I don't know.
but they're gonna be there for you.
And you don't have to be like think alike any of that stuff. It's just the acceptance and the roles and the feelings of it.
Yeah. For me, I always think about it. I have a dog, and my dog has a best friend, right? And like, my dog can go to the dog park and meet 25, 30. The hell, my dog can meet like 25, 30 dogs and like have a good ass time. But when he sees his best friend,
Who's that?
my niece, actually, the other dog rider, when he sees his best friend, it pops off.
It's a party.
He is on fire, she's on fire. They're both, best like kindred spirits, I imagine that human to human, it's like I can roll with other people, I can have good times with other groups, I have people for other things, but I get that one person,
I would say my best friend is a bond that can't be duplicated.
Can't be duplicated,
Boom.
can't be broken.
That's right.
I'm sorry, but like if you're my best friend and we like do the
We're best friends. Yeah, if he fall out, we want
for
best
life.
friends.
For life. Yep. For life. That's it.
Or be that.
Anyway, this is like a super good topic. Hopefully, if you're listening this far in, we're about, I don't know, like 30, 40 minutes in.
45 minutes.
45 minutes in. Listeners, can you let us know what you think on the subject? Like, do you think you can have more than one best friend? Blah, blah, blah. What defines a best friend? Because that'd be dope.
Because they grow with you.
Yeah, they
They
should.
would change with you, so they would know every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And can say, oh, I see the changes in you. I see this, seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Yeah.
But it's like the same thing. Like
You just
go
a friend
back and forth.
hoochie, bro. You can't be everybody.
Yeah. Homie hopper.
Yeah, Thot friend. Everybody. Who is that friend over there? Tony.
That friend over there.
Man, I thought we was exclusive. Man,
That friend.
Spark
over
races
there.
with everybody.
No.
Yeah,
Yep,
not just
exactly.
me. I was like, who's that Tony in that? Oh,
Whoever's down, he could be Spartan racing with you one week, calling the next week.
Friend
Who
Hoochie.
knows?
yeah.
Shame on you.
That's the title.
Friend Hoochie.
You couldn't wait to pass out Valentine's Day card. He's my best friend. He's my best friend.
Might I say
Everybody had
Wow.
two lollipops.
Fun fact, I had a best friend from 3rd grade and he moved up north and I still considered him my best friend until probably high school and I never heard of him. But I was like, that was my boy from when I was growing up till when he left me in 4th grade.
If you guys happen to run into each other at Ralph's one day, you're
Sure.
probably exactly.
He still be on the list.
Exactly. Exactly. Sorry, it's
So how
a
many best friends you got, man?
Not a lot. A couple. A handful. Just a handful. Cause like I said, man, like I expect I can go to Joe for things, I can go to you for things, I can go to Jen for things, so it's different levels.
What's the level? Are we dropping the body or what?
Obviously,
Calling D.
Calling D,
Yeah.
Calling
Jesus
D.
Christ.
His best friend is no longer in service. That's
But-
what's up.
How about this one? Have you ever called somebody their best friend and then something happened between you two and then took them off the list?
Oh yeah, for sure. Was my best friend then?
Couldn't have been.
Couldn't have been.
But you called each
The
other your best
harm,
friend.
the harm they cause you can't be intentional.
So for
You know what I'm saying? It can't be.
No,
There's
no.
certain things that they can't do, and
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, I couldn't." No, you gotta love the person for to be your best friend.
Right.
You gotta see him as you see yourself. That's your dude. That's your homie, or whoever it is. And you can't want them to feel pain that you would feel, or even give them that kind of pain.
Yo, it's fads though for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I've had a best friend who's been my best friend, right? Like straight, narrow, like that person's by my side. But then I'll meet somebody who's exciting, who's doing some fun shit that I spend more time with in the moment. And that person may be my best friend, but no, because that shit ends and then I'm right back with this homeboy right here. So like that person's always around, but like I said, there's a fad. Somebody like
I'm the friend hopper.
But that's
no, you know what I'm saying though.
Because we don't do the same thing.
Exactly.
Some people say, "Oh, I thought this person was your friend to me before." I said, "I never ate dinner with them.
Right.
Never been to my house." So it's we haven't shared things that friends would share.
Right.
So because we use that term, that like loose. Oh, that's my friend. Or that's my friend. That's my even like family. That's my family. That's my family. It's almost just like a term. But he's saying they don't get off the ship. They don't get off.
Yeah, they're always on the
they're
boat.
Always there.
But I might make a port stop, right? So like, no, for real. Like, what if my best friend doesn't drink? Like, this is a true story.
Yeah.
My best friend doesn't drink.
Right.
I like to drink, so I'm not gonna not drink. I'm gonna go find somebody who wants to drink, and I'll go kick it with them for a bit,
He doesn't drink.
and then I'll just come back to my best friend when I want to do best friend shit.
I used to drink all the time with my best friend. I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
In like 15 years I haven't. And he don't say anything. But I had the same, and this person probably would have been my best friend if we grew up together. I had the same best friend I had since I was 18 or 19. So it's the same person.
Same
so
person.
We've seen kids, we've seen spouses, we've seen ankles, that we've seen everything, and we stayed steady. Never been in the shout match or argument with him.
Oh no.
I haven't, because that's just rare. Like because that's the person that came in and said, "Hey man, you know you're effing up right now." And then I get sober real quick. Oh, you're right. Shit.
Check myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi mom.
Hey.
Hi Joey's mom.
Multiple best
Oh
friends.
shit. Hey, so I actually have a second question, which is based
Yeah.
on. All right.
Your time's up.
Okay, that's fine.
Now we go.
Okay, all right. In light, because I've been going to the movies a lot lately. By the way, that movie Us. Have you
Yes
anyone
or no?
seen it? Yes.
Yeah.
Real good.
10 out of 10 or 8 out of 10?
No, I would give it like a 7 out of 10, but like that's I'm a really harsh critic, so 7 out of 10.
You are?
I am.
I did not know that. Fun fact there.
In light of recent events, right? There's been a lot of shit popping off for superheroes. Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Avengers. What else were the bigger ones? I don't know. Iron Man, shit like that. So this is coming around because I think the old heads who grew up with these comics are now in charge, which is tight because I'm one of them. But my question for you guys is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? That definitely wouldn't be it. But if you could have a superpower, which one would it be? Or if you could be a superhero, which one would you be? If you can't define a superpower, but you want to be like somebody. I'm talking about Tony, yeah.
So when you're in school and you're like at the playground, you're like, I wish I could do this. Superpower.
Wait. My mom asked, why wouldn't you hang out with a best friend even if you didn't drink? That is the dynamic of that relationship. Well, because Mom, I'm not going to force nobody to do something they don't want to do, right?
True.
You just find somebody else who wants to do it.
Yeah. And that person's not going to be there for a while. You're going to be like, hey, can we leave now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Great question from my mom.
Not my scene right now.
Yeah.
Superpower.
Superpower, superhero.
I would want to be invisible.
Why?
I just want to see everything. And not. I want to be in the
He said
room.
invisible and see right after.
See everybody.
Oh, so hilarious. He said invisible and see right after.
Invisible, and I just want to spy on people. Like how you want to see what people are really like. Like, hey, why not be invisible so you can see how they're really like?
Alright.
Because I feel like we live in an era where everyone fronts and really doesn't show who they really are.
Okay.
They don't go on a podcast and be 100. Obviously, they still cover up some things. Or they don't go on Instagram and tell you, like, I had a bad day, let me talk about it.
Okay, let me ask you though, how would that help people?
You could have just been Superman. He could see
Exactly.
through stuff, bro.
That, yeah, but I mean, like
And
being a superhero means you gotta like help people. So how is you being invisible?
We can't be a supervillain?
Oh, you could be a super villain. You could be whoever the hell you want to be.
I'm helping the future.
You
You
help.
never know.
Get,
You said.
we're just gonna circle back.
You said
He
what?
did this
You
fine.
said what superpower would I like and what superhero would I want to be?
This isn't the
You
damn
said
Cold
two different
War
things.
where you gotta.
You said two different questions.
All I heard was Tony want to work for the FBI.
Yep, that's pretty espionage over here. Goddamn.
I don't know that. I might already.
I might already. What about you, D?
I guess growing up, yeah, we used to see Superman all the time.
You don't know
But-
Invisible Man?
I'm not invisible.
But you, super means, hero means above average, above normal, to do things a human can't do.
Invisible is not one of them.
So when the aliens come, we can just go to Tony. He was like, "Damn, everyone over there." I think Daniel's on the way.
Just know, if I die before you guys,
You gonna die?
I'm up here. I'm creeping at you guys. I'm right there. Wherever you're at, I'm there. I'm there.
What's that right there? The mist not falling.
I'm there. I'm there, Spider.
Man.
He said 2 different questions.
No,
That hero and the power should be kind of connected, right?
should be.
Could be. Well, that's what I thought his assumption was. Because most people are going to want superhuman intelligence or strength or something like that.
Sure.
Or to be here.
Yep.
So I take Superman.
Superman is just way too powerful, though, for me.
Well, I'm saying.
So you're gonna be Hulk?
But he did.
No. Well, if I could be a superhero,
The comic book Hulk is stronger than the movie because my kid has Middleton does comic books.
yeah. No, there's a lot of incongruities with the movie.
You mean Red Hulk?
Red Hulk, yep.
You can always be invisible.
Tony, no. If my favorite superhero of all time
Right.
is Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
right? My second favorite, really close runner-up, could be right there, is Captain America. I like both these characters.
Is Captain America because of recently or because of growing up?
No, like growing up. I actually read comic books growing up. I was actually watching like the damn shows that was on Fox Kids and shit like that. For me, I like those characters, and Stan Lee was actually quoted saying that he created these characters because they were incorruptible, right? Never once has either one of them in their entire duration done anything that was immoral or broken some sort of like moral code if it didn't benefit the greater good.
Right.
So that is what I admire.
You can't break a code if you're invisible.
You don't even have a code if you're invisible. You could just walk in, take the money, put it in your invisible ass pocket, and then
Oh.
I
I could say I went to Stanford.
So for
But you couldn't prove it.
your boy Edgar says, "What's happening?" But yeah, so I feel like if I was to be anybody, I could relate mostly with Peter Parker, Spider-Man, but I would want to be Captain America. And then if I were to choose a superpower to have, I would actually want to choose something that has to do with time travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like using the time stone, like Doctor Strange does. Think about it. He can alter time.
That's good.
Invisible wins.
Shut the hell.
It's good. No, let me give you some more context. Growing up, I was always just the outsider. So I was always the person that wasn't really in the circle, and I didn't know what was going on because I was sheltered at home. I was sick with allergies and all that, so I had to be home because I was always sick, and I was always looking out the window. So I wonder what they're doing. So that's where my contact is with being invisible. Like, hey, I would want to see what other people are doing.
Damn, you just broke my heart right now.
There you go. You guys just clown on me.
Damn, you should have saved that for after the podcast. now we look like a couple assholes right now.
Okay. No, but that's a little context about it. Just like that's why I always wanted to see what people were doing. Like, it's not that I'm nosy or anything like that, but I was like, oh, they look like they're living the best
I
life.
don't believe that. You had all these friends, these best friends. He ain't invisible.
Yeah.
We feel good about ourselves.
No. I'll bring somebody back. I'll bring somebody from the podcast that grew up with me in my apartment watching.
You don't need to do that. We believe you.
I'll find my third grade.
We know you'll find a friend.
Friend Uchi.
Oh, so funny.
Alright, that is
but
it.
Either way, I'll be like the top one you guys call. Top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Friend Uchi.
Now on to our next segment, thoughts from D. What do you have from us or for us today?
Oh.
You always come loaded with some philosophical
Oh.
thing that you got, and
Whatever you thought about posting on the
yeah, let's
tonight,
just
you gotta post.
Thoughts and feels with D.
That's the title, anyways.
Nah, just for myself, I wrote this today. Cam's hood proverb: if the sum is not greater than the parts, it's time to break it back down and reassemble better.
What if the sum is equal to the parts?
Well, you have a good state, I guess. But it should be, you know what I mean? Like, even with friends and things, and just different things, you bringing this, I'm bringing this and that. If